All right, back on Project TA. Looking at the plug wires and looking at our parts. I remember that I ordered plug wires from Speed Engineering when I ordered these headers. So if you look back in the last video, you can see where these plug wires were hitting up in this area here, in this rubber area here, and they were, I don't want them to melt on these brand new headers. And we had these already because we ordered them when we ordered the headers, so we swapped them out. This is what it looks like on this side so far. Got them curled up, so angled up so they won't touch the pipes. May not leave them that way, but that's how I got them here. And that's just to show you what it looks like on this side. And you can see how they're touching, so they're definitely gonna melt there and there. So that's why we got to change the plug wires. I've been wrestling with a header on the passenger side. As you know, if you've been watching any of this stuff, that header touches the floorboard, and I'm not going to be able to get an oxygen sensor in that bung, at least as of right now. I had a tip from a friend, said put a bar in the pipe, into the pipe, and bend the pipe down, bend the header down a little bit. Well, I tried that with a 5-foot pipe, that one, and I was able enough to get it off the floorboard maybe a 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, and that allowed me to be able to get my bolts in the header itself in the front. I couldn't get the front bolt in, so that allowed me to get all the bolts lined up. They still kind of were tight going in. You could tell that flange is not nearly as precise as the one on the driver's side. But that's okay. They went in, it seemed to tighten up just fine as long as it doesn't blow head gaskets or exhaust header gaskets, manifold gaskets, whatever you want to call it. As long as it's not popping gaskets all the time and it does seal up. And once we fire this thing up, I will let it warm up a little bit, and I'll go back and check all the header bolts. As anybody that's ever had headers knows, those things like to loosen up and fall out if you don't stay on them all the time, or at least loosen up enough to blow your gasket out. These do have metal gaskets on them. It's not the old cheap paper gaskets like we used to run with old hooker headers and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and get this plug wire switched out on the passenger side, and I really don't know if I can, if I curl these down, they're a little touch too long for my taste, but if I curl them down like that, that might work. We'll see. I mean, we can play with them, kind of move them around and see kind of how you like them. They kind of look bunched up like that. That's why I had them twisted up to kind of take that sharp curl out of it. But you know what? It's not my car, and Bud can figure out how he wants to twist his wires, or if he wants to try to get some that are just a touch shorter in the future. If he doesn't like the way those look, he can do that as well. And he'll have a spare set here in case he needs to throw one of these on, which will melt if he does and make a mess on the pretty stainless header. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this passenger side swapped out on the plug wires. And I'm putting a little bit of dielectric grease that came in the kit with it, put a little dielectric grease in the tip in your boots, just a touch, doesn't take much, just so the plug wire goes on easily. It actually makes it seal a little better, and if you have to pull them back off, they don't stick as bad. They usually will pop right back off instead of sticking on the ceramic of the spark plug or in the coil or whatever. And hopefully we won't have to take them back off, but that's why we do that. All right, passenger side's done, and I put the dipstick back in. Had to take that out to get the header in and deal with that stuff. So that's back in place. So we'll move on to the next step. I'm gonna raise it back up another time and try to play with this header down below and see what I'm gonna do. I hope I don't have to take this header back off to deal with this deal with it being up on the floor like that. If I have to, I have to, but you know, it's just time consuming. I'm trying to move forward, not backwards with this deal. So all right, I'm gonna lift it back up and we'll take another peek down below, see what we think we need to be doing. Yeah, so I've played around with this pipe some, and it hadn't budged really. I mean, it's still right up on the floor. The plug is, I won't even be able to screw a plug into that without taking this header back down, unless I can heat this up. I don't know if I can heat stainless or not, but what I've been doing is taking this pipe, getting it in, and then just trying to pull down on it this way. Try to bend this down a little bit where it's a little more even with this pipe. And if I can get it even with this pipe, I'll have clearance for the O2. I'd rather have the O2 in the headers instead of way out here, which it's not gonna matter that much, but I really would like to have it in the headers. Not have to add additional bungs. I mean, that's why you buy headers with bungs are in it, right? So you can put your oxygen sensors in there, not have to deal with the bungs. All right, we're gonna play around with this some more, and I'll let you know on how it turns out. Hopefully we can get that thing figured out. So we played with the pipe in the end of the header for a while. I even took an axle strap and hung it off the collector, and we hung I had a whole stack of rotors in this 45-pound weight, and I let it sit over the weekend, and I'd pull down on this pipe way out here, and you can get it to wiggle, and it comes off the floor just a touch, but then it springs right back. You're not, at least I don't have, I feel like I'm gonna break something if I keep pulling and putting more weight on. I think it's just gonna cause problems with the header more than fixing my problem. Unfortunately, it's just the stainless is not soft enough to bend like that without applying a bunch of heat. So Robert came by, the owner of the car, and we discussed it, showed him what was going on, and so we could try to heat it, but then it's gonna make the header look weird as far as discoloration. And I really don't want to heat it in the car because I don't want to catch the car on fire. I'm getting the acetylene torch out and getting that thing hot enough to where I can bend it and manipulate it. So we've decided to massage the floorboard just a little bit and then put the oxygen sensor in a different place. And we're just going to leave it like that for now. We're going to try to do the floor where it's minimal damage and no one's ever going to know really. The driver's side's already done that way, and it's you can't hardly tell that anybody's done anything. Just clearancing the floor pan a little bit to so the collector won't bang on the floor as the engine idles or revs or torques up. So, I mean, I thought about notching the corner of the firewall where it comes down to the floor for the oxygen sensor, but I mean, that's a lot of work. When we just put the oxygen sensor in a little piece of pipe that's right after the collector. So anyway, that's what you get with $300 headers. I was blown away that you could even buy a set of stainless steel headers for $300, much less, get lucky enough where they'll actually work. Because stainless headers are usually in the $1,500 range, and not the $300 range. You can't hardly get a good set of mild steel headers for $500, $300 to $500. I mean, so it is what it is. So I'm going to pull the header back out, and we're going to massage the floor in a little bit, and then we'll get that header back in. And I guess I got to get a pipe or a plug in the bung too. So either that or have somebody cut that bung off and weld that hole up, like put a stainless steel washer in it or something, weld the hole up, where just eliminate the bung. But I'll probably just put a plug in it. Just the problem is the bung is the biggest problem. The bung is what's hitting the floor. The rest of the pipe's really not on the floor. It might be once it revs up, but anyway, all right, we're gonna get going. Okay, I've changed my mind. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna have this. I don't know how to weld stainless. I'm not set up to weld stainless, so I'm going to pay somebody to do it. I'm going to have this bung cut off, and I'm going to have it put in on the side here. I do have room. If you see, that bung will be, it'll stick out about like that. That'll give me plenty of room between the transmission and the collector. It'll be like right here. We'll just move it right here on the side. We don't have any shift linkage or anything like that over here to worry about, so it'll stick out about like that. And that'll be fine. That'll get that bung off the floorboard. We'll still massage the floorboard up a little bit just to keep that, make sure that pipe doesn't rattle on the floor. Other than that, we'll be good. You can see that one's no big deal at all. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to mark it like right there, and pull this header back out. All right, gotta get our dipstick back out, gotta get our plug wires back off, crack the bolts loose on the header again. Caleb's learning his air tools. Pull the collar down, shove it in there, and let the collar loose. There you go. Perfect. All right. All right, so I'm gonna run these out real quick, and we're gonna pull this header right back out. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to get this header out. And the last one. This header on this side will literally just fall right to the floor. So I'm gonna just slide it down and lay it on the floor. That's all there is to it on this thing. That's what's so disappointing, that I've got to alter this header because it fits. Other than that, it's so easy to install compared to most. All right, so basically we're just going to cut this bung off and have the hole welded up and move it right there. Wrap up this little video. Wasn't a very long one, I know. We're just recapping and showing you the little steps of the progress and the little hurdles and battles we've got to go through on building this hot rod. So I got to find somebody that can weld stainless for me, because I'm not set up to weld stainless, and I'm not the cleanest welder in the world. I can booger up some mild steel, but that's about it. I'm not the best welder in the world. I just don't have the practice or the equipment. I've got a little MIG. I can MIG some stuff together, but I don't want to. I want to look halfway decent, so I'm gonna let a professional do it. So if you're a stainless steel welder and you got a stainless steel bung, or you know how to get one and fill that hole in, you let me know. We gotta get it done pretty quick though, so by the time you see this, it'll probably already be done, I would imagine. All right, so that's just gonna wrap it up. We're gonna head to the drag strip and film a little no prep today, so at Brainerd. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one, or you'll see me in the next one. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, please. Thanks. Peace.